Hi there, everyone. My name is Jonathan Wagner, and I am a restoration contractor in the beautiful state of California, specifically serving right here in Ventura County, California. So the series of videos that I'm going to post to our channel is really going over the insurance process, dealing with restoration contractors, and quite honestly, just putting out information for clients, policyholders, anybody looking for information when you're dealing with a property damage claim. Again, this is really going to kind of hit home for insurance claims and overall that process, but I will talk about restoration companies and kind of industry secrets, if you will, but mainly just going over everything so if you're dealing with a restoration claim, you can make a decision, you can be informed with what you're talking about and really not have to deal with any high pressure sales. Unfortunately, in our industry, the restoration industry, time is of the essence, right? If you're dealing with a water damage, you want to make sure you get stuff remediated before mold kicks in. If you're dealing with a fire damage, you want to make sure you're protecting the property a certain way, moving the overall claim forward if it's an insurance claim, so the insurance company is satisfied. So there's so many different things and aspects, and every single job is different. And what I've noticed is my clients will have so many questions, and normally they're the same questions and kind of some different scenarios sometimes. So I thought this would be a good avenue to talk about that. So thank you for joining me, and I'm going to jump into our first project. This project is a smoke damage restoration. Now, right now, where we're at, and at the time I'm making this video, we are just coming out of the Palisades fire. That was a devastating fire that happened earlier this year, and we are still helping clients on those projects. At some point, I'll go through different wildfires. If you find yourself on a wildfire that you're dealing with now, every wildfire is different, and the Palisades has definitely been just a catastrophic loss that nobody has really ever seen or dealt with, and we are just coming out of that. But I've got plenty of stories of so many different insurance companies doing so many different things, and really these clients having so many different experiences with that. So excuse me, this particular project that I'm going to talk about is a smoke damage restoration project that needed to be done. The client immediately contacted their insurance company after the fire and said, hey, my house smells like smoke. I need help. I'm told I need to file an insurance claim, and filed a claim. Now, one thing that the client did not do off the bat is contact a restoration company. A lot of clients that are dealing with these different projects, sometimes they'll contact a restoration company before, sometimes they won't. They don't necessarily know, but they're definitely contacting the insurance company. In this situation, she was thinking that she just needed to talk to her insurance company first. So the insurance company did not advise her that she should get a restoration company. They didn't offer a restoration company. They did put her into some temporary housing immediately. And to my surprise, actually put her in for 3 months right from the start. So that was pretty generous. Now, dealing with the Palisades, just the devastation to the infrastructure, a lot of these claims were definitely granted additional living expenses that were a little bit longer than the normal wildfire. Normally, an insurance company right off the bat might give a couple weeks. They might do a month, maybe 2. On the Palisades, we're seeing right now anywhere from 6 months to a year. It did take, I think, a solid month and a half to open everything back up. So the insurance companies recognized that, but to my surprise, gave her sufficient additional living expense, or ALE. Adjuster came in, walked the project. The adjuster, again, did not recommend any restoration companies, did not say there needs to be a restoration company, just pretty much wrote the scope of work of what they saw. This is what we call a catastrophic loss adjuster that came in. So this particular insurance company is a pretty big insurance company. In-house, that means they're company adjusters. They have the capability of deploying nationwide, and they take these big events. They kind of move on from event to event. And that's what this was. It was an in-house catastrophic loss adjuster. That adjuster came out and wrote about $12,000 worth of damage. Now, the client was obviously happy at that time, the insurance company offering up some money and wanting to make sure the claim gets started. Now, the problem with not meeting with a restoration company first is you really don't have that expectation of what the project is going to cost. Now, a lot of these people might think a smoke cleaning is just a general house cleaning, and quite frankly, you might have an adjuster say, hey, this is a general house cleaning and we're going to give you a couple $1,000s. And then the client goes through with that and they're still smelling stuff on their furniture, they're still having issues with their walls, their insulation, whatever it may be. So restoration companies are really going in and engaging the entire project. We have experience in this, and we're taking that entire scope of work into account when we're writing the bid. Obviously, with this client, $12,000 seems like a lot of money. It is a lot of money. In hindsight, and I'll get on to what our project was, or our cost on it was, you can obviously tell that they were light years off. So after contacting a few local restoration companies that refused to give her estimates, she ended up finding us. Now, in these wildfire catastrophic events, you will find most restoration companies do not want to go through the hoops of trying to provide an estimate. They will essentially just try to have you sign the project and say, hey, we're going to bill everything to your insurance company. Now, that might sound just so far-fetched, but in our industry and our emergency work, we're normally getting permission to start, and we do have some sort of fee structure that a client will sign. But at the end, I would almost say, 99% of our insurance claims are put together as an invoice after we're done. We send that over to the insurance company, and we're negotiating discrepancies from there, and charges have already been accrued. Now, in these disaster zones, obviously with governors and presidents and declaration of states of emergency, I tread on the air of caution. I don't ever want to get in trouble. So we really jump through hoops to provide estimates instead of sign this document, get us started. I want clients to be fully aware of what our charges are. I'll go over the process. When I write up an estimate, I'm sending it into the insurance company, I'm negotiating that, and I'm essentially getting a start price, and then we're scheduling a start date. So in this situation, these restoration companies just would not provide her a price, and she was kind of at a, I wouldn't say at an end, but she was a little frustrated at, I don't know how much this is going to be. We get connected with her. We get into the home. I have a price per square foot that I'm just kind of able to give just a down and dirty number of, hey, this is kind of what at minimum this project is going to cost. And that sets an expectation. It sets an expectation of, hey, I was talking to my neighbor and I do know how much these are going for, and this is kind of within the standard. Or my insurance company only gave me a couple $1,000s and we have a big problem. And so I like to address that before really, rolling into a full-blown estimate can take us sometimes days to do because they're so tedious with the program that we use. And so I want to make sure that we're saving time in these events. So gave her kind of that down and dirty number, if you will, and she was just kind of blown away. There's no no way of putting that. Her particular project with the smoke remediation, all of the content cleaning, removal of insulation, pressure washing the exterior outside, everything, the project was at about $70,000. So obviously to go from 12 to 70 is quite the difference. Most situations, clients would start to call into the restoration company. Maybe that restoration company does, maybe they tip off a restoration company and say, hey, this guy gave me kind of a ballpark number of 70,000. Is this in the same range? And then a client will start to kind of understand, hey, okay, this is this is kind of the going price. The client was blown back, but I just assured this client, trust the process. She stumbled upon me. It was a referral. We had worked with the person previously, not on a fire, but a previous damage. And so I came highly recommended. So the person decided to trust the process. We then got into the estimating phase, estimated everything, turned that over to the insurance company. And this insurance company moved very quickly to approve the number. We had approval within about a week from submitting. that approval number was about $65,000. So again, in any insurance claim, we're going back and forth on, hey, is this air filter, or excuse me, air scrubber a good size in your project? Sorry, my camera cut out for a second. Is this air scrubber a proper fit for the job, or whatever it may be? So there's always little differences that insurance adjusters will have. And in this situation, we got through those pretty quickly, and payment was en route and paid for with the client. So this is one small example that I can give you, and I hope that you've made it to the end of this video here to hear this. These projects are all over the place, and sometimes they're simple and sometimes they're not. And when dealing with these wildfires, there is a lot going on, a lot of different companies, a lot of flight-by-night companies that come in, and there's a lot of people wanting to take advantage. So I think spotting the signs of people trying to take advantage of you, making sure that you're protected, is absolutely crucial, and I'm glad you found yourself on this video. I hope this is providing great information for you. But at the end of the day, there is a level of trust that you have to have with the company or the restoration company or contractor that you have found to see the process through. It does take us time to negotiate things. It takes us time to communicate with the insurance company. Now, fortunately, in this client's situation, the insurance company got back to us quickly and issued payment very quickly. That's not always the case. Sometimes we'll go back and forth where we haven't heard from the insurance company for 2 or 3 weeks, maybe a month. And then we're going back and forth with the adjuster for another month, 2 months. And obviously this is adding frustration for the client. It's not necessarily on the restoration company. A lot of insurance adjusters love to point the finger of, your insurance company isn't getting me this documentation. I would just encourage you and your restoration company to put everything in writing, loop everything up in emails. That way there is dates and times associated with communications. That is so crucial when you get into these processes. So yeah, just see the process through with your restoration company. That's my biggest thing. If you're in a wildfire disaster, and I'll probably talk on this because I've got another client that did this, but it's going around and price shopping, getting estimates. For the most part, most restoration companies are going to be in line. There's different line items that we'll use on this same program. We pretty much estimate with the same program, but we're pretty much kind of in line with, how long is this going to take us, how many people that we need in there. And so when you're price shopping, or your insurance company uses a delay tactic like, get us multiple bids on this, clients will spend their time spinning their wheels, especially when restoration companies just won't provide estimates in these disasters. And you really feel like you're spinning wheels, but that's probably for another episode. So I hope you found this video informational, and if you have any questions, drop it in the comments. Again, this is solely for informational purposes. If you're dealing with a property damage, dealing with your insurance company, dealing with a restoration company, and if you happen to be in Ventura County and need somebody for a set of eyes on your project or a second opinion, please give me a call. My name is Jonathan at JW Home Care, and yeah, catch you on the next video.